All right, we got to talk. Chelsea have the 24th best goalkeeper in the league. That's right, you heard me. All right, Chelsea fans, here's the deal. I got to break down the goalkeeping situation at Chelsea, right? A lot of moving pieces have happened. Maresca has come in, made Sanchez his number one. Petrovic has left on loan. Kepa is still on the books on loan. We've got about 5 staff members and a huge problem. So let's start with number one, Enzo Maresca, right? Naming Robert Sanchez number one, right? Early days. Let's look at some of the the different conversations that we had here, right? Some of the news articles that we've seen. Enzo Maresca hails Robert Sanchez's creative intervention after Chelsea's big win over Wolves. He's talking about how he came out from 25 yards, played the long ball. Good luck. To me, that's more of a Wolves situation rather than Sanchez being able to hit a long ball. But he named early in preseason Sanchez as number one. Essentially closed the door on Petrovic before you even really seen him because he was injured. And this is a Sanchez player, right, who had had a half good season at Brighton, a really good season at Brighton, then lost his starting spot to Steele, an much older goalkeeper, and then he came to Chelsea, right? So we weren't getting him at his best, but the idea is, he's young, right? There's a good chance we can still get the best out of a player like this. Let's see kind of where we actually are right now with everything being said and done, because we've got a 26, almost 27-year-old goalkeeper on 60,000 pounds a week, which is not bad, but nowhere do we have confidence. Do you have confidence in Robert Sanchez? I mean, did you see the last ball that almost went through his hands and in the back of the net? That could have been how we lost to Crystal Palace. Think about that, right? So I've got some stats to break it down, but I didn't lie when I said we have the 24th best goalkeeper in the league. So if you're at FootMob looking at the rankings, they've got one, you have XG for strikers, right? Like, what was the expected goal of that shot going in? Well, goalkeepers have their own XG, right? We have PS XG minus GA. Now, that is a mouthful. Let me just break it really simply for you. It's after the shot happens, what is the expected goal, right? So if someone takes a bomb from 40, but we see it knuckle and dip and dive, right? Shout out to the Jubilani World Cup. Then that's going to increase the XG of that shot, right? If it was deflected or if it was a dribbler, but it just went through their arms and legs, that's going to be a really low XG. And then you subtract that from the total goals allowed, right? So the same thing, if you have an expected goals based on the number of shots they've taken as a player, right? You say, hey, Nico Jackson should have 8 goals, but right now he's only got 6. This is based on his XG, right? Estimated out. So positive numbers are good. Negative numbers means we've conceded more than what we should have. Robert Sanchez is ranked 24th of all goalkeepers that have played the season in the Premier League with a negative 2.4. What that means is he's conceded 2.4 more goals than what they expect he should have. He's should have conceded 2.5, 2.6. We've conceded 5. So that puts him down there with the likes of Jordan Pickford and a Jose Sa. Those are the bottom 2. How annoying is this? Well, it's so annoying that, let's put it this way. Brighton have 2 goalkeepers above us. That's right. They've split time with Verbruggen, and then they also have Jason Steele, who both played. They both have a better PS XG minus goals against than all of us, right? I mean, you're talking Leicester, Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Wolves, Southampton, Ipswich, everybody. And if you want to compare, right? So we're negative 2.4. Even Man City's at a plus 0.2. Not a lot, but they're leaning towards a plus. And then the top goalkeeper right now is Neto at Bournemouth with plus 2.3. Nick Pope in second with plus 1.9. That is a huge, huge spread. So what that means is he should be saving more than he is, which is a problem. Is a problem for everybody watching. I think we've all seen it, right? So I also want to kind of look at some of the other stats from the Premier League, right? So I looked at saves from inside the box versus goals conceded inside the box. So Sanchez has made 2 saves inside the box. He's conceded 3. Now, let's be honest. Inside the box is tough, right? Okay, fine. Made 2 saves, conceded 3. Maybe you can look at the defensive saying, why are we even getting this close to the goal? That's fair. We've seen some of the goals that have gone in. And then you look at saves from outside the box is 5. Goals conceded from outside the box is 2. With his frame, we're talking 6'5.5" is what he's listed on FB Ref. We're getting up goals outside the box. Obviously, we just saw Ebriche Esse's goal, right? Good goal. But again, like, we need to be making saves. We need to be doing something. So that's not great. Can't save them from outside the box. Can't save them inside the box. What can we do? Well, again, if you look at SofaScore's overall rating from this season alone, Robert Sanchez is 6.73, the 23rd best goalkeeper. So, hey, he's moved up a spot. So you look at what does he do well. He does do possession well, right? 83% pass possession. Okay, great. But at what cost? Like with Enzo Maresca, what do we want out of our goalkeepers here? John Terry just posting on Instagram all these teams playing out of the back, forcing themselves in on ourselves, making mistakes instead of just pushing it long. Well, I bet he's not going to push it long because when you look at his stats, he's 33% pass completion when he launches it. That's pretty bad. Let me give you an example. Onana, 45%. Let's see. Areola at West Ham, 45.5%. This is a problem. Even Emi Martinez at Villa, 50%. So the fact that we don't do it, and when we do, it's terrible. These are problems that Maresca needs to figure out, right? You're not playing to goalkeeper strength, and you're making life more difficult for them. That fix it. Fix the easy things. Not everything Enzo has to fix is easy. This is easy. So, okay, great. So Robert Sanchez, a bit of a problem. Fair. I'm not upsetting anybody, right? I'm not saying we should write him off. I'm just saying it is not started well. All right, let's make a change. I'm going to have to ask you to pump the brakes. New signing, Philip Jorgenson. Right? Is he the one? 22 years old, only 6'3" on a good day, I think. Coming in, he's played twice against Servette in the UEFA Conference League. Had a good first day out, right? 8.4, Chelsea win 2-0. Second day out, Chelsea lose 2-1, and he's got a 6.5 rating. All of a sudden, I think some people have a lot of questions about what it is exactly that we're getting with Philip Jorgenson. So why did we sign him? I mean, great question. Just not being rude. I don't know why we signed him because his profile isn't that much different than what we had. And I know that because I'm going to the handy dandy McLock app to compare. So we've got Philip Jorgenson versus Petrovic. Is Jorgenson's radar better? Yes. But not by much. Like, no one cares that he has more thrown passes per 90. Right? No, like, better saves for sure. But the save percentage is almost the same. So then I would say, okay, great. He just had to make more saves, but on a percentage basis, it's the same. Right? I'm not seeing enough in here when you look at these to be like, oh yeah, big upgrade on Petrovic. And I'm not saying Petrovic needs to be the starter still. I've been on the record. Chelsea, wildly underwhelming in the goalkeeping department. But my point is, this isn't the one to get excited about. This is more sporting directors playing football manager again and leaving Chelsea exposed in the back in a critical position as goalkeeper. All right, so Philip Jorgenson, not a huge upgrade over Petrovic, but he's on loan now in France. So what about Philip Jorgenson versus Sanchez from last season, right? So last season, Sanchez did rack up 1,400 minutes. I know he's injured and lost his spot to Petrovic, but like, he played. And again, as you look at the radar, it's not much different. So Sanchez has more crosses collected. Great. That's easily a difference between league. He's got more sweeper actions. Well, that's it. That's what Maresca saw. Done. That's all he needed. But if he's that much better than Jorgenson, then why are we bringing in Jorgenson if he's not great with his feet? Again, it doesn't make sense. Everything else is almost identical, except Jorgenson has more mistakes in possession. I just am not real excited by the goalkeeping roster we have. And by the way, look at our goalkeeping roster. Eight goalkeepers. And when you look down the list, most of you, if you're casual fans, don't even know who most of these players are because a lot of them are from the academy. A lot of them are young, spent time on loan. But that's a problem. The fact that we don't have a standout goalkeeper name that we're like, number one, that's our number one. That's our Courtois. That's our Petr Cech. That's our Carlo Cudicini. It's not there. This is one of the most important positions in the team. Am I biased? 100%. Do you want to hear that? Maybe not. It doesn't matter. Having a weak goalkeeper undermines everything else you have. And the way things are going right now, it is not good enough in the goalkeeping department. And we didn't sign anyone to push Sanchez for his number one spot. There's no way Sanchez saw Jorgenson coming in and was like, "Ooh, I got to work hard." He was given the number one jersey back. All I had to do was get healthy. So now that we know that the roster is Sanchez, Jorgenson, Bettinelli, with Lucas Bergstrom making appearances as needed, knowing that you've got Petrovic, Kepa, and Gaga Slonina on loan. Those are your three first team-esque players. Yeah, you have Eddie Beach, Ted Kurd, and Teddy Sharman-Lowe, up-and-coming younger goalkeepers. Where do we go? Who do we look? Where I don't see the 5-year vision here. Everyone's young. I don't see the 3-year vision, let alone the 1-year vision with this squad. But hey, maybe there's not enough people to make decisions, right? That's where you're wrong. Oh, my friend. Let me break down Chelsea's staff. Willy Caballero, remember him? Goalkeeper, but he's listed as an assistant coach. So you tell me if Willy has an idea or feedback for Enzo on the situation of the goalkeeping. Probably. That's, while he's not out there teaching Noni Madueke how to Maradona and then bend one in the back post, because obviously that's what Willy Caballero is doing, teaching Enzo Fernandez to drop his left shoulder and hit a cross-field pass. I don't know what Willy Caballero is teaching any of our field players, but hey, good for him. So then you have Michel de Bernardin. So 2 people. Now you've got Ben Roberts, who's the head of goalkeeping for the entire club. You better believe he's got an opinion. Enrique Lario, goalkeeping coach. We now have 2 official goalkeeping coaches, a 3rd assistant coach, and Ben Roberts, who's in charge of the whole damn thing. And just for fun, you got Carlo Cudicini on staff as a lone technical coach. That is 5 people on staff with high-level elite goalkeeping experience, and this is the situation we find ourselves in. You tell me, are you happy in the comments with Sanchez being the number one? Are you happy with our roster of goalkeepers? I mean, look, I don't want to say this is the Diego Costa situation where we haven't had a striker since Diego Costa, but it's been a minute. We've been struggling to find what we want out of a shot stopper, and it's not something that's gone well. And I obviously am probably a lot more sensitive to this than everybody else, having played goalkeeper, having come to the club through Petr Cech, and having seen those days. But like, my word, where we are at, 24th in the Premier League with goalkeepers. I should look and see how many other goalkeepers. Bournemouth has 2 goalkeepers ahead of us, including Kepa. Brighton has 2 goalkeepers. Ipswich Town has 2 goalkeepers. Southampton has 2 goalkeepers ahead of us. West Ham has 2 goalkeepers ahead of us. Wolves has 1 goalkeeper ahead of us because Jose Sa is struggling. That's how we're 24th in terms of essentially, should you have saved the shot or did it go in? Jordan Pickford Jose Sa are the only two goalkeepers having a worse start to the season than Robert Sanchez. Look, that is unacceptable if Chelsea are trying to get in the Champions League. I hedged on this when we did Keep Sell Loan. We talked about their season previews. I think the goalkeeping situation at Chelsea is actually worse than last season, or at a minimum, they did nothing to upgrade in this situation. In this position, no upgrades were made. No real long-term thinking was there. We are now like at least 2 years out from having a great number one. And some people, you could even say, our best goalkeepers on loan, right? That's another situation we have. It's just, it's getting difficult, right? To defend the team. It's getting difficult to like get excited about the moves that they're making. Mike Penders, right? Signed from Belgium, back on loan, 19 years old, at Genk. That's the name you need to watch for. That's what you need to look at. If you're interested in Chelsea's goalkeeping situation, look there, nowhere else. Because guess what? We got nothing. So anyways, let me know in the comments. Is it Sanchez? Am I sleeping on Jorgenson? What about the Petrovic? It's not that he was better. It's just that he wasn't worse and we didn't upgrade. What are we doing in this department? And I guess most importantly, does it even matter? Does having a good goalkeeper matter? You tell me. But until next time, Chelsea fans, you know what to do. Keep the blue flag flying high.